start has gotten widespread attention, including here in Pittsburgh, where perhaps a record crowd on hand to see whether the Steelers can be the team to end the Redskins' undefeated season. A glorious afternoon here in Pittsburgh, and we welcome you to Three River Stadium, everyone. I'm Dick.
The NFL, 6 touchdowns in the last 8 weeks. Special teams important. We'll see that here.
Redskins have won the toss, and they're returning the opening kickoff. Brian Mitchell from the 5-yard line, and he'll be down beyond the 20. So Mark Rippon, who had a career game and has won 22 of his last 25 starts, leads the Redskins. And he has terrific protection up front. Jim Lachey back in at left tackle after missing a game. McKenzie, Bostic, Schlereth, and Jacoby with him, and Ron Middleton, the tight end. Ernest Biner listed as the starting running back with Art Monk, Ricky Sanders, and Gary Clark, although the posse is not in there to start the game. First play of the game, and it's going to be Biner. And Biner carries it out to the 26-yard line where David Little makes the tackle. Steelers defensively, Keith Willis, Gerald Williams, and Donald Evans up front in a 3-man alignment. Brian Hinkle, Hardy Nickerson, David Little, and Greg Lloyd. He's one to watch. They're the linebackers. David Johnson and Rod Woodson, an outstanding cornerback. Thomas Everett, who's been hurting, and Carnell Lake are the safeties. Second down and 6. Stephen Hobbs has come in as the 4th wide receiver. Hasn't played much. Rippon to throw on second down, and he completes it to Gary Clark. It'll be enough for a Redskin first down. David Johnson on the stop and a gain of 7 yards.
Washington has to wonder what they're going to see defensively. In the last 2 weeks, great contrast. Houston sat back in the safe zone and forced Washington to go short. Last week, the Falcons attacked. Well, you know about the results there. We expect, and I'm sure Washington expects, to see a lot of the safe zone here today.
2 tight end alignment with Don Warren joining Ron Middleton. It'll be 1st and 10. This is a dash and a design rollout, and Rippon is going deep to Art Monk, wide open. And Art Monk inside the 5 is stopped short of the goal line. Thomas Everett made the touchdown-saving tackle, and a gain of 63 yards to anger Chuck Noll on this early first quarter play.
Rolling to his left. And this is tough for a right-handed quarterback. He looks to that side of the field and goes back against the grain. Carnell Lake, the safety, briefly out of position, and that's all they needed to take it into the end zone. But another huge play by the Washington offense to open up here in this first quarter.
Gerald Riggs is in the game out of the I formation on 1st and goal from the 1, and Riggs is over for the touchdown. That is Gerald Riggs' 8th touchdown of the season, though he hasn't played much, and quickly the Redskins lead it 6-0.
The one thing you would like to do if you're a Washington Redskin is get off quickly today, and they certainly have done that. If you can put up a couple of touchdowns very early in this ballgame. Now, what was that? Joe Gibbs looked to be a little unhappy on the sideline. Maybe thought that to be a bit of a dangerous pass. Had a word for Rippon on the sideline. But what a great start for the Redskins.
Chip Lohmiller adds the extra point. So we have completed less than 3 minutes of this game, and Mark Rippon has already thrown his 18th touchdown pass. Close to it.
Streaks right down the middle of the field. The ball thrown in over the hands of Carnell Lake, and Monk works down to the 1-yard line.
1 play later, Gerald Riggs with his 8th touchdown of the season to give the Redskins the lead. A 63-yard strike setting up a quick score with 2 minutes and 36 seconds gone by in the game. And now Lohmiller kicking off, Rod Woodson to receive at the goal line. Woodson got by a few defenders and brings it out to the 20-yard line where Martin Mayhew making the tackle. Neil O'Donnell, who has been impressive coming off his career game, over 300 yards. Up front, John Jackson, Tom Ricketts, Dermontti Dawson, Carlton Hasselrig, Tunch Ilkin, the veteran. Eric Green, as Merlin mentioned, the big tight end. Barry Foster returns to the lineup after missing 3 games. Merrill Hodge with him, and Lewis Lips at wide receiver, along with Dwight Stone. And it'll be a first down on the 21-yard line. Donald tries to go to Lips, and Darrell Green was right on him. No flag down, and it'll bring up second down, and Green, right tight on the receiver. The defensive line, Fred Stokes is starting in place of Mann. Williams and Johnson the tackles, and Jason Buck getting the start for the first time. Wilbur Marshall, Matt Millen, and Andre Collins the linebackers, and in the secondary for the Redskins, Mayhew and Green the corners, and Brad Edwards and Danny Copeland the safeties. Second down and 10 out of the I formation, and here is Foster. Foster got away from one man and brings it out to the 25-yard line, a gain of 4. Martin Mayhew made the tackle on the leading rusher for the Steelers.
Steelers obviously would like to be able to get their game going on the ground. And the return of Foster extremely important.
4 yards,
Joe Walton on the sideline. His package very simply, his philosophy offensively, he's going to put a lot of formations on the field. He's going to give you a lot of motion. And he knows this man, Richie Pettibone, the defensive coordinator. They coached together at Washington. So it's kind of a chess game between those two today.
Jumpy Geathers has replaced Eric Williams up front for the Redskins on third down, and the pass is overthrown. Leroy Thompson, the running back out of the backfield, was the intended receiver, but Geathers got a chance to get in close and make things difficult for O'Donnell.
Jumpy jumped all over Neil O'Donnell on that play, forced the bad throw, and the concern today was that there would not be as much pressure with Mann out of the lineup. But they did a good job of getting the heat on there.
Dan Straczynski will kick for the Steelers, and Brian Mitchell, who leads the league, averaging nearly 16 yards a punt return. Mitchell inside the 35 and is tackled at the 42-yard line by Jerry Olsofsky. So the Redskins, with a 10-yard return by Mitchell, will have good field position, already leading the Steelers 7-0. The Redskins with a first down on their 43-yard line, 2 tight ends. Monk in motion, and our first penalty marker of the game as Ernest Biner bursts through the left side and carries it out to the 47-yard line. Hardy Nickerson on the tackle. Here's our referee, Tom White.
Looked like Donald Evans a little eager on the right side defensively. We asked Joe Gibbs about Ernest Biner.
Offsides, defense, 5-yard penalty, replay first down.
Joe was very succinct. He said, Biner convinced me, and I asked hard questions, that he was 100% or he would not be in the lineup today. But he said even if we give him a chance to prove that, he will not play a lot of football.
He had a sprained knee, and he was supposed to be out 1 to 3 weeks, and all of a sudden he came in and practiced lightly, and then a full practice on Thursday and Friday. Handoff is to Biner off to the right side, and he gets just into Steeler territory. Will bring up second down and short. Aaron Jones, who entered the game at defensive end, making the tackle. Here's the Redskins' undefeated season, 10-0, and their toughest games were against the Cowboys, the Giants, and the Houston Oilers. Keep in mind that the Redskins, with a victory today, will become the first team in the NFL to clinch a playoff berth. Second down and 2. 7-0 the Redskins lead. He struck early. Biner getting the call, and he is close to the first down. Maybe short by a yard, and David Little, with help from Gerald Williams, the nose tackle, came in quickly.
Biner's such an important cog in this machinery. When they got him in that trade from Cleveland, which may go down as one of the greatest trades in all football history, Biner immediately moved in not only as a blocker, but also as the backbone runner of this offense, and then as the main pickup man in the backfield for the blitz. Does it all very effective.
Gerald Riggs has come in the game on 3rd and 1. He's their short yardage man, and he delivers again. He scored the Redskin touchdown and gives them a first down on the Steeler 44-yard line. The tackle made by Carnell Lake and the linebacker David Little.
Schlereth on the right-hand side, hiding behind the quarterback here. Watch the tremendous block he gets to help open up this hole on the right side. Sliding out right there and then inside to take the linebacker down and make room on that last play. Jacoby driving inside to create part of that hole as well.
First down on the 44-yard line. 3 wideouts for the Redskins out of the eye. Not much motion on that play, and Ernest Biner will be caught behind the line of scrimmage by Greg Lloyd. And we should be seeing a lot of Mr. Lloyd this afternoon.
You talk to people in the league about quickness from that outsiding linebacking position, and there's one of the names mentioned first. Number 95, Greg Lloyd, coming right here so quickly that a play that ordinarily does not worry about the backside pursuit is absolutely shut down by it.
Last week, in overtime, he forced a fumble and ran with it to set up the winning score. And now on 2nd and 11, Rippon's pass is incomplete. Gary Clark had defending downfield Hardy Nickerson, but it was Gerald Williams who got a hand on that toss.
You have to say G. Williams. There's a Gerald Williams on this team too. But Gerald talking about the importance of getting some heat on Rippon as we visited with him yesterday.
The other Williams is Gerald Williams, J-E-R-R-O-L. They both have been an asset to the Steelers' defense. 3rd and 11. Rippon has time, and his pass caught by Biner. He's got the first down. So Biner can do everything, and the nickelback Richard Shelton, just added to the roster this week, makes the stop and a gain of 13.
Talking to Mark Rippon, one of the things he is doing so much better now is having the patience to wait for that last second. He sees that rush, he feels it, but he does not worry about it. Redskin receivers block for each other downfield. Number 84, Gary Clark. Watch this right there. Gets his body in front. That's all you need. Just get the body in front.
And there was a defensive lineman that he blocked as well. First down. Biner looking for an opening. A fumble. And the Steelers recover. Let's see. I saw a black-shirted player with it. The Steelers, did they get it? And now they say the whistle blew. There's a Steeler shaken up. So the whistle had blown, even though there was a fumble, and the Steelers reportedly had recovered. Hardy Nickerson is injured.
Hardy Nickerson, you see him left side of your screen right there, a part of the action. Someone rolled into the back of his knees, and you hard to see from that angle the ball rolling loose apparently after Biner hit the ground.
Thomas Everett provided the hit on Biner.
Nickerson being helped off the field. There's the end of that play. You can see indeed a Pittsburgh Steeler did recover that ball, but referees had blown it dead, so Washington gets a break early.
And they are reviewing it upstairs. As well they should. So it is still Redskins ball. 8th play of the drive coming up. It'll be 2nd and 8 on the Steeler 30-yard line. Nickerson has been replaced by Jerry Olsopsky. In the Steeler defense. Under 7 minutes to play. On the delay, here's Biner. Nothing doing as he is stopped back to the 30-yard line by Brian Hinkle.
There's Hardy Nickerson working on that ankle. Dick, as big as the Redskins are on throwing the ball deep, they had huge plays last week. The backbone of this offense always has been the running game. And you see it here as the Redskins come out and pound and pound and pound. But of course, it's that pounding that opens the way for the running game.
And it is third down and 8, and the Redskins are the best in the NFL on third down conversions. And the Steelers defense next to last against third down plays. Rippon's pass and caught, and wide open is Ricky Sanders with his first catch of the game. So the Redskins connect again on third down, a gain of 13 yards and a first down inside the 20.
You feel the confidence of this Redskin offense, the strength of Rippon's arm, and the accuracy of this throw as well. Watch Sanders, the little break inside. He's got a little hole in that zone, and well, you've got a strong-armed quarterback. Here's one of those spaghetti patterns right here. Gary Clark wandering around. David Brazil said those are spaghetti patterns when they get them all in there and weave them around together.
Tough to figure out. 3 tight ends now for the Redskins, and Ricky Urbans making his first appearance at running back, and Urbans with good speed doesn't go anywhere. Steelers are clogging the middle effectively. And a 2-yard gain with Greg Lloyd making the tackle.
Greg Lloyd is only 228 pounds, but watch number 95 as he takes on the blocker here. That's Middleton, who's huge, gets through him to a second blocker and still breaks off inside. Took on 2 blockers and still made the tackle. That is great outside linebacking play.
There's a great defensive lineman in his time, Joe Green. Second down and 9. 7-0 the score. The Redskins lead. Biner is rolling out, and his pass incomplete. Rippon, that is, and it was David Johnson who got a hand on it.
Third down.
One of the things that Rippon talked to us about yesterday was that he had some conversations with Matt Millen. Of course, Millen played for the 49ers last year. And in that playoff game that the Washington Redskins lost, he said, Millen said he felt a difference, a little lack of confidence down inside the 20-yard line. And it made Rippon do some thinking. He doesn't seem to lack that confidence this year.
Third down and 9. Sanders goes in motion. And that'll bring up fourth down. Art Monk was defended nicely by Richard Shelton, and Chip Lohmiller will come into the game. Lohmiller is connected on 30 of his last 35 field goal attempts, but he missed his only try last week against the Falcons from 48 yards. This will be a 32-yard try.
They didn't need it last week.
Hardly. With 56 points. Kick is no good. Steelers put on a big rush with Lloyd coming on in, and Lohmiller might have rushed his kick, and the Steelers hold and will take over on downs, leading 7-0 when we come back.
Take great pride in their special teams. Last week, breakdowns on a punt, and look at this snap for Brandis. Low. Rutledge with trouble getting the ball down, and of course Lohmiller cannot get that short field goal through the uprights.
Well, we'll see what the Steelers do offensively now as they start from the 20-yard line. There's that big tight end Eric Green in motion. The pitch to Foster, and he's going to lose yardage. Penetrating through the Redskins defense and making the tackle was Danny Copeland. Andre Collins had penetrated.
Barry Foster, built much like Ernest Biner. Short, powerful, really difficult to get your arms around. Has had ankle problems. In fact, they had put him back in the field last Thursday. A week ago Thursday, the ankle puffed up. The MRI took it through the mirror imaging to see what was wrong with it. Finally gave him the okay to go this week.
Second down and 12. O'Donnell looking to throw. He has some time, and the pass is complete and caught by Chris Callaway, and that should be enough for a Steeler first down. A 14-yard gain. And a penalty marker is down, and it'll be against Pittsburgh, so they'll bring it back.
Nasty break. O'Donnell showing some of the poise that his coach talked about yesterday. Chuck Noll very proud of the way this young man has progressed.
Holding. Number 71 offense. Half the distance to the goal. We'll replay.
That's the
second
left
down.
guard, Tom Ricketts. The Steelers, the second most penalized team in the National Football League, now will start from inside their 10. It'll be second down and 21.
Joe Walton trying to figure out what he does to pick up those 20 yards. You got to believe he won't try and get it all in one bite here. Look for something at about the 10-yard range.
O'Donnell's pass caught by Dwight Stone. Kurt Gouveia on the tackle up to the 25-yard line. A gain of 16, so they need 5 more yards to go.
Steelers tend to throw the ball into the short zones anyway. And look at the distribution of passing. Right-hand side, the Steelers, only 67 passes to the wide receivers. Look how many to the tight ends. Of course, a lot of that is Eric Green. And 60 to the running backs. You get a feeling for where the Redskins are growing on the other side. 119 passes to the wide receivers.
A.J. Johnson and Alboyd Mays have come in as extra defensive backs for the Redskins. Third down and 5. Out of the shotgun, O'Donnell. He's got some time, and his pass is incomplete. Dwight Stone was the intended receiver. He had his hands on it, but Miney Coleman delivered a crunching shot, and that will bring up fourth down again.
Zone defenses of the Redskins, this is what they want to do. You catch that football, they are going to attack you instantly. Wilbur Marshall on one side and Monty Coleman on the other side. That ball bouncing free.
Well, Dan Straczynski in to kick for the second time, and Brian Mitchell goes back deep. That's off a fine kick. And that's going to be a penalty as one of the Steelers ran right into him. Ernie Mills.
You've got to give the receiver a chance to catch the football. And Mills, realizing that he was down in time, that there was no fair catch called, with a chance to make a big play, just jumped the gun.
We are seeing the Steelers commit mental mistakes which would be fatal against a team like the Redskins. Here's the latest.
Watch this hit just a fraction of a second early. If he waits about one count, he probably forces a fumble in this situation. What he did here is forced a confrontation with Chuck Noll on the sideline. Noll despises those kinds of mistakes.
Number 82, 15 yards, first down.
It is against Mills, and they'll mark off 15 yards, and the Redskins will start this drive just short of midfield. 7-0 the Reds Stadium in Pittsburgh. Dick Stockton along with Merlin Olsen. The Washington Redskins lead 7-0, and they've had the ball for 9 minutes and 20 seconds of the 12:48 so far played in this first quarter. Good field position. Ricky Irvin's the running back, and he gets the call on first down and doesn't get much. There's Charles Mann, who was unable to go today after suffering an injured knee in the second half of last week's game against the Falcons, and leads the Redskins with 8 quarterback sacks. So they could miss him, but the Redskins feel they don't want to press a lot of these players in action with a lot of tough games coming up.
Well, if you're not healthy, you don't get a chance to go.
Second down and 8. Throw to Art Monk, but right there was David Johnson for a minimal gain. And right now, for an update, let's check in with Greg Gumbel in New York. Greg?
All right, Dick, a Bears fumble deep in their own territory sets up Jeff George for the 4-yarder to Jesse Hester. He had 3 last week. George throws 1 already today. 7-0 Colts first quarter, Dick.
Greg, we keep in mind that the Bears have only 2 losses this year. The Saints 1 and the Redskins none. And the Redskins, of course, down the line looking for that home field advantage in the playoffs. Third down and 2 coming up on the 45 of Pittsburgh. Under a minute to play in the first quarter. Rippon's pass is caught again by Art Monk. It'll be a first down as the Redskins continue to click on third down plays this season. That time a gain of 9 yards, and David Johnson made the stop on Monk.
An average of 66 passes a year for 11 seasons. A man that just gets better and better. You know who he reminds me of? Charlie Joyner, who almost got better as he got into his possession side of his career as a receiver. And Art Monk is just amazing, just amazing.
Last week, 164 yards, his best effort yardage-wise of the season. And that will run out the clock. And that is the end of the first quarter here at Three Rivers Stadium with the score, the Redskins 7 and the Steelers nothing. In Cleveland play tonight. The Steelers at 4-6 are still in wild card contention. They have 4 of their last 6 games, including this one here at Three Rivers Stadium. We start the second quarter with the Redskins leading 7-0, and Hardy Nickerson is back in there at linebacker for the Steelers. Play fake and a lot of time. Ricky Irvins out of the backfield gets past Johnson, and Nickerson comes in and makes the tackle, short of a first down by a couple of yards, and a gain of 8.
Ricky Irvins finally getting some playing time, and they are so excited about his talents. Extremely quick, very sure-handed, able to catch that ball out of the backfield. A fine running back as well, and again, one of those short, powerful backs that's very difficult to get your hands around.
Irvins has a 5.6 average rush, the best amongst NFL rookies. We'll see more of him the rest of the day. Second down and 2. Irvins finds a hole on second effort, and he'll have the first down inside the 25. Carnell Lake for the Steelers.
So quick, just brushed Keith Willis aside. Willis right in the hole, and Irvins stopped, jumped to the side, swept him one way and went the other way.
That is the 8th first down for the Redskins. The Steelers are still looking for their first. A doubleheader day on CBS coming up next. Most of you will see the Cowboys against the Giants in a big game for both of those teams. And a first down on the 25. Here is Irvins again. Seemed to go underground that time as he charges his way to the 21-yard line and a gain of 4. David Little was the man to meet him for the Steelers.
Ricky Irvins seems to have that natural ability to avoid tacklers, and that's such a special talent for a running back, being able to get in there where the action is and find a way to slip and slide and ooze, and he did. Seemed to slide in underneath those tacklers for the extra yardage.
He lasted till the 3rd round of the draft because of knee problems in his senior year at Southern Cal. A lot of teams wish that they might have gotten onto him sooner. Second down and 6 on the Steeler 21. Now Clark splits out at the last moment. And Rippon's pass is caught by Monk. It's knocked away, but it's out of bounds. It was David Little on the hit. It is still Redskins ball, and a gain of 3 yards that time.
Twice today we've seen the ball loose, and on both occasions the Redskins have retained. The first time the whistle had blown, and this time the ball will bounce out of bounds as Monk tries to put it away. David Little just swats it loose, and it rolled away before they could catch up with it.
That's what happens when you're 10-0. You get some of the breaks go that way. It'll be 3rd down and 3 on the 19-yard line. 7-0 the Redskins lead. There's that motion by the Redskins, and here comes a blitz. Skins pick it up, and Mark Rippon throws the ball almost off the fence. Gary Clark was the intended receiver, and David Johnson and Thomas Everett were covering.
Mark Rippon might have forced that football last year, but he's a smarter quarterback these days. There are times when you take the risk and times when you don't. He just simply threw this football away. He said, hey, we'll go ahead and take the 3.
Little was blitzing, and McKenzie picked him up, and now Lohmiller, who missed from 32 yards, will try from 36. And this kick is true, and Lohmiller has now given the Redskins a 10-0 lead early here in the second quarter. Martin Mayhew and John Brandis. And right now we're going to check in with an update from Greg Gumbel in New York. Greg?
All right, Dick, at the Hoosier Dome, the Bears have pulled even. Jim Harbaugh on the quarterback draw. Yes, he is in there. 6-yard touchdown run. The Bears and the Colts 7-7. Late moments of the first quarter, Dick.
All right, thank you very much, Greg.
Dick, the advantage of veteran special teams, you don't fool them. Big play there to shut down that reverse.
Hodgwin in motion, and here is a play fake. O'Donnell's pass, and it was Green, and he made the catch. Eric Green, the big 280-pound tight end, gains 8 yards on the play with Andre Collins defending.
A 280-pounder that has the body control of a wide receiver. An excellent play-action fake. Gives O'Donnell time to throw, but watch the moves at the end of this reception. Watch Green go up, pull it down, and spin all the way around. A difficult catch. He made it look easy.
O'Donnell's got a lot of poise. The Steelers very impressed with the second-year quarterback out of Maryland. 2nd and 2. They give it to Merrill Hodge. And Hodge may have enough for the first down. Andre Collins is defending.
Neil O'Donnell, of course, stepping in after the injury to Bubby Brister, and doesn't look like Bubby's going to have a shot at his job, as O'Donnell has simply taken charge. Has become the quarterback of choice for Chuck Noll, and the quarterback, obviously, the future for this Pittsburgh Steelers team.
And the two things that they kept talking about in discussing Neil O'Donnell, number one is his terrific football sense. And the other thing is his ability to bring the team back. He has brought the team back, not necessarily for victories, but he has rallied the club in every game he's been in.
3 out of the 4 games he's played has brought them back to where they had a shot to win. And, of course, they won in that very close game last week in the OT.
They missed the first down. There's Brister.
They're still friends, by the way. Now, that's an interesting thing. You'd think that with that kind of tension going on, one man being taken out of the lineup, this guy not being able to get back in, they are still very close. He said, Bubby calls me or I call him almost every night, and we work together to help our team.
3rd down and less than a yard. 10-0, the Redskins lead. The Steelers still looking for their initial first down. They give it to Merrill Hodge. He's got it. And ridden out of bounds by Brad Edwards. Barry Foster, the other running back, set Hodge free with a good block and a gain of 8 yards for the first down of the game for Pittsburgh.
Outside backer was going to be trapped in on this play. Watch number 55, Collins, right there as they get him to the ground. No chance for him to control on the outside. You've got to wait for the safety to come up. And Merrill Hodge, who is not a very fast running back, has room to pick up the first down.
First down for the Steelers on their 40. This time Foster jumps ahead. He was tripped up, by the way, by Matt Millen in the backfield. And a gain of about 3 yards.
Dick, I think it's worth pointing out, and Washington Redskin fans have saluted this entire team performance. You go back to the beginning of this year, the question marks about this team were on defense. A real question as to how they would be able to perform. So many new faces, a lot of rebuilding going on. They've had a tremendous year.
And Matt Millen, one of the new faces, and he hasn't started the last 2 games because of the run and shoot style. In there today, 2nd down and 6. O'Donnell pass knocked away and intercepted. Mayhew holding onto it, and it is a Washington interception. Martin Mayhew. Everyone talks about Darrell Green, but Mayhew picks one off as Collins and Stokes stormed in on O'Donnell.
Brad Edwards standing waiting for that ball, and Mayhew took it out of his pocket. A bad decision to jump on a quarterback, but watch this. Edwards waiting for the football. Mayhew takes it.
Redskins lead the NFL in interceptions. That was Mayhew's first.
Sometimes pressure on the quarterback is better than a sack. Fred Stokes forces the bad throw here from the quarterback O'Donnell, and it ends up with a sure-handed interception by Mayhew.
And again, the Redskins with good field position starting from their 45. Nothing doing up the middle as Ernest Biner returns to the game. A gain of a couple. Hardy Nickerson and Gerald Williams in on the tackle.
How important are turnovers? Look at this ratio. If you don't have a turnover, if you haven't taken the ball away, a 1 in 5 chance to win. But look, as you go up to 1 and 2 and 3 plus, a 73% chance of winning the ball game. Now that is really significant. Those numbers this year's games in the NFL.
2nd down and 9. Rippon completes the pass with 2 defenders. See who caught that ball, and it was Ricky Sanders. Little and Greg Lloyd were both there on the short game, and that will bring up 3rd and about 5. The average starting field position, by the way, in this game, the Redskins have started from their own 40-yard line, and the Steelers the 21.
The Steelers really trying to force the Redskins to stay short with everything, playing that safe zone deep, but the Redskins very content to pick away.
Here's that 3rd down play. The Redskins are the best in the league. They need 4 yards. Pressure on Rippon, and his pass is caught by Art Monk. He's got another 1st down. They're uncanny in getting the 1st down when they have to, and a gain of 7 yards. David Johnson and Carnell Lake on the tackle on Art Monk.
At the heart of these conversions, protection of the quarterback. And I really believe that the Redskins start with that as a philosophy. Let's start with protecting our quarterback and then worry about the pattern. You saw it there. You saw a little tip by Lloyd as he streaked in, but Monk able to concentrate on that football. But these Redskins so good at protecting Rippon, giving him time to throw the football.
1st down on the 42. A loose ball as Biner tried to go to a reverse, and alertly coming in was Jeff Bostic, the center. A very alert play. That could have been disaster for the Redskins, as that play was botched as Sanders trying to get the handoff from Biner.
Now on the right-hand side, you want to let these people penetrate a little bit, but they get in a little further than you want them to. Watch over here as they're going to get penetration coming up the field. Biner is going to be handing this ball off, but there are too many bodies coming in. Now, I got to say, that's twice today Biner's had trouble handling the football, Dick. Maybe because of his injury. He might be worried about that knee.
2nd down and 16. Rippon's pass to Biner. Still on his feet. Down the sideline and close to a 1st down. They say he's out of bounds at the 35 of the Steelers, so he's short by a couple. Rod Woodson ultimately made the tackle, and that will set up yet another 3rd down situation for the Redskins, who are 5 for 7 so far in this 1st half.
Another of the very critical ways in which Biner's talents are utilized, as they just flip that little screen out to him, allow the penetration, and let him head upfield.
3rd down and 3. Wayne Sevier on the right of Joe Gibbs. He gave the special teams a tongue lashing this week after 2 punts were blocked against Atlanta. 3rd and 3. Rippon's pass is caught by Biner, and another 1st down on 3rd down, and a gain that time of 9 yards. Gerald Williams, the linebacker, on the tackle.
Mark Rippon with 3 reads basically on every play. A deep read, a mid-range read, and a short read. This, the mid-range throw to a streaking receiver who obviously had plenty of room to get open on that side. Jeff Bostic, the center, so critical to the protection inside, and especially when you got a man right on his nose. Excellent job.
Ricky Irvin's back in the lineup for the Redskins. They have the heavy package with 3 tight ends, and Irvins dives forward inside the 25-yard line. Gerald Williams, the Steeler nose tackle, in on the stop. Story of this game, nothing unusual for the Redskins. Ball control and success on 3rd down.
A war going on inside as Bostic and Williams square it off, and you get a feeling not only for the violence inside, but for the noises you hear at good football games.
When I hear you, I hear good football game. Second down and 8 with 5:04 remaining in the first half. Irvin's cutting inside to the 20 will bring up another third down. Redskins have loved the third down situations today. Aaron Jones and Gerald Williams made the tackle.
Interesting comment from Matt Millen, as we talked to him earlier in the year, said this was the least talented championship quality team he'd ever been on. Now, that was not an insult to this team. In fact, a compliment to the performance of this team. The Redskins are not undefeated because they are the most talented team. They are undefeated because they have performed better than any team in the NFL.
And if you ask Joe Gibbs, he says 3 words: spirit, depth, and we're solid all the way around. He says that's no secret. Third down and 4. Griffin's pass complete to Sanders, and guess what? Another first down for the Redskins. To the 12-yard line, David Johnson on the tackle. So they're going to have to, Dave Brazil and the defensive coaches, solve this dilemma.
2 words: methodical and patient. The Redskins will take whatever you give them, and they just pick and pick and pick. Another fine example of it there.
Sanders relatively quiet this year, but he has delivered as a blocker when they've needed him. 7 of 9 now on third down conversions, and the Redskins threaten on the 12. First down, Viner, and he is stopped by Lake from behind after picking up a couple, and Aaron Jones as well.
Dick, these Pittsburgh defenders do not like to blitz. In fact, Dave Brazil told us they blitzed 6 times on an all-out blitz last year, but they've got to start putting some heat on this Washington offense. If they don't get some pressure up there in Rippon's face, he's going to chew him to pieces. There's Dave Brazil.
Came from the Kansas City organization when Rod Rust was here several years ago as their defensive coordinator here.
And put together, along with his staff, the #1 defense in football last year. They have slipped badly during this season.
This is the Washington drive. It'll be second down and 9 on the 11-yard line. Rippon looking for 6, and wide open was Art Monk, and he's down in time for the touchdown. Great job, Art, says Matt Millen. He beat Everett.
You're going to see a review on that one. A question of whether he got his 2 feet down in the end zone. But what a heads-up play from Rippon, and an incredible toe-dancing catch by Art Monk. Watch the play here. Rippon, again, waiting until the last possible second, and just over the top. Now watch Monk's feet. Watch the toes. 1, 2. Well, he did get them down, but were they on the line? I think we're going to see the review. Touch pass, great reception. I think he's on the line. I don't, well, the official standing right on top of the play. Now remember, to overrule this play, you have to see conclusive visual evidence that demands that this play be turned around.
And frankly, well, I'm not so sure now.
It looked to me,
from the last replay, it looks like he might have been on that line.
It looked like the left foot may have tapped the line. But again, the official was looking right down at those feet, and he had a better angle than we did from our camera view.
Art Monk, if it's good, will be touchdown reception number 8 on the year. He came in as the leading receiver for the Redskins. Chuck Noll, second winningest active coach in the league.
After further review, the play has been confirmed as called on the field. Touchdown.
It is a touchdown, as Mark Rippon now has thrown his 18th touchdown pass of the season.
A final look, and that is such a veteran play, being able to stay in with those 2 feet.
And the extra point by Lohmiller is good. 2:49 remaining in the first half. It is now 17-0 in favor of the Redskins. Monk's 11-yard touchdown catch.
When you've got something precious to carry, this is
going to be coming over. He's calling signals, but watch what Art Monk does. Goes down, breaks inside, and then slips right in behind him. No chance as Lake bites on the inside move. And look at that. Monk standing alone in the end zone.
Lohmiller's kick heading for Woodson. A yard in the end zone. And he doesn't get up to the 15-yard line. Good special teams hustle by the Redskins, led by John Brandis. Well, next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern here on CBS Sports, Greg Norman hosts the Shark Shootout, benefiting Ronald McDonald's Children's Charities. Jack Nicklaus, by the way, for Art Monk, that touchdown reception was his 8th of the year, and that ties his career high, set in 1989. And a lot of time to break it. O'Donnell on first down. Gets away from one defender, and he can't get away from the rest. And a loss back to the 5-yard line. Eric Williams ultimately got him.
A young quarterback has a lot of things to worry about, but he better do a better job of selling that play fake to Hodge up the middle. It doesn't fool the Redskins. Not only does it not fool a lineman who will get a great rush on him, but the defensive backs back there camped on those receivers comfortably in their zones, and O'Donnell can't go anywhere.
A loss of 7 yards. Best sack differential in the league belongs to the Redskins. And now O'Donnell with a penalty marker down completes the pass to Chris Callaway up to the 20-yard line, but there's a flag now. Earlier, a first down by the Steelers was nullified because of a holding call. But this time we'll have a personal foul marched off against the Redskins after the 12-yard pickup.
Usually a head slap or perhaps a hand to the face by one of the defensive linemen.
Personal foul, head slap, number 78, 15 yards back onto the end of the play.
That's the former Steeler, Tim Johnson.
There's Tim Johnson, number 78, and it's Dermontti Dawson that he slaps up the side of the head. Looked like his hand slipped off the shoulder. I don't think that was intentional.
Possession, controlling the ball for 21 of 27 minutes. And a first down on the 34-yard line for the Steelers. Tough to mount an offense. Here's the pass out to Merrill Hodge out of the backfield. And Hodge gets close to the first down, missing by a couple of yards. Martin Mayhew and Monty Coleman made the tackle.
We visited with Joe Walton yesterday about this offense, talked to him about the fact that they had struggled early as he came over after being the former head coach of the Jets to try and put a very complex offense to work here in Pittsburgh, and they did not make it work at all. In fact, recently they're finally starting to have some success, but you've got to wonder if maybe Walton is trying to do something that doesn't fit the personnel here in Pittsburgh.
That's been discussed a lot. Second down and 2, and there's Leroy Thompson, the rookie from Penn State, who's got good hands out of the backfield, shows why there and gets 4 yards, and that'll be enough for a first down for the Steelers at the 45.
Well, obviously, when your plan to try and keep the Redskin offense off the field and you end up
only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Reminder, some Pac-10 basketball coming your way on Thursday night, 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific here on Fox Sports Net. It's the Oregon Ducks and the Sun Devils of Arizona.
different fronts, showing him different coverages and moving around constantly. He does not know what to expect.
Second down and 21 on the 35-yard line. O'Donnell out of the shotgun, stepping up, and he drills it, and the pass is caught. We've got a long way to go, however, for the first down. That pass is caught by Eric Green, but a holding penalty will send that one back. And I'm sure when Leslie Visser talks to the Redskins at halftime, they've got to be pretty satisfied with the way things have gone in every phase of the game in this first half.
The description for the Steelers, and it applies to much of the year, self-destructive.
Holding, number 87 on a takedown, 10 yards, still second down.
Takedown. He's been pretty descriptive. A chance to look at the forward possessions by the Steelers. Futility.
They have not gotten to midfield and into Redskin territory yet in this half. Bobby Wilson, the #1 pick, who started for the first time last week is in the lineup now at defensive tackle. 2nd down and 31. Coming in, including Andre Collins. O'Donnell gets away from it and gets the pass loose, and it's complete to Green. The tight end found the seam, and now for the first time the Steelers get into Redskin territory and pick up 29 yards on the play. It'll be 3rd and short in the hurry-up offense as we get close to a minute to go, and O'Donnell will stop the clock, but he stops it on 3rd down with 1:09 to go. And it'll be 4th down, I believe. He spiked it on 3rd down.
I think O'Donnell thought they had the first down.
Or for some reason he thought it was only 2nd down. So it is now 4th down, and the Steelers are going to have to go for it with 2 yards to go for the first.
Well, that obviously puts them at risk if they don't pick up the first down. Still plenty of time on the clock for the Redskins to come back and put points on the board. A rookie quarterback, actually a second-year quarterback, playing for the first time this year, making a critical mistake in this 2-minute drill.
And the Steelers will use up another timeout. Crowd not pleased with a lack of alertness. And this is a young team. Some of it is understandable, others not. And the Steelers have 1 timeout remaining. 2 coming up. They have been successful on 3 of 8 tries on 4th down this year. 17-0 to score. And if the Redskins stop them here, they've got great field position in all their timeouts. So here's the 4th down play. And a fumble, and the Redskins have recovered, and Jumpy Geathers lost it. In any event, it'll be Redskins ball. It won't matter, as the official has been knocked out and he is shaken up. We'll find out who he is. It'll be Redskins ball in any event, and the umpire is shaken up. Ed Fiffick, the veteran umpire in the National Football League, is shaken up.
Trainer's on the field quickly, but as you mentioned, Dick, it does not matter, and there's still a battle for that ball. Here is the end of that play. Jumpy Geathers, you saw him just a few minutes ago blowing over his man, Tom Ricketts. He does it again here. The ball comes loose, and Geathers is all over the football. Watch him here as he gets over there and gets on the football. Now, if anyone touches him when he's down, no, they didn't. That ball is free. It's rolling, so it has not been possessed. That's not a fumble. No one has possession yet. So the ball will not go back to the Steelers. There is the shot that the official takes. The umpire rolled up underneath the bodies as they chased that football.
Out of the shotgun on 4th down, and Geathers came in untouched, and did not matter who recovered the ball at that point, because the Redskins had stopped the Steelers on 4th down, and with 53 seconds to go, the big concern, of course, is Ed Fiffick. That's the chief concern right here, and he gets up, and that's a good sign.
I tell you, the umpires have to be tough in this business. He gets up, he said, I'm all right. There is always an official standing by, a spare official. They may elect to give him a chance to cover now. I think he took a helmet right to the stomach. He took a good shot anyway.
I'm just glad he didn't have the way he was lying on the ground with his legs turned. I'm glad that he didn't have anything broken as a result of that collision.
They're saying, are you sure? A chance to watch him right here as he gets brushed aside in the action. And there's the shot right to the ribs. That one is the one that may have gotten him. As you see him go to the ground, I wonder if those NFL officials have a whirlpool at home. He may need one.
Well, he's good-natured as he comes off the field, and they're going to have that. There is no spare, we understand, so they'll go with 6 officials. And we hope that Ed Fiffick feels better enough to come out in the second half. He'll go to the dressing room now. Want to remind you, coming up at halftime, Greg and Terry with scores and highlights on the NFL Today Dockers halftime report. Leslie will give us a report from here. 1st and 10 on the 49-yard line. 3 timeouts remaining for the Redskins. They lead 17-0, looking for more, and the pass is caught by Art Monk. And that'll be good enough for a 1st down. Clock continues to run. Gain of 11. And now the Redskins want to get things organized and will use up their 1st timeout. Everything is broken the Redskins' way. Of course, they forced it that way today, and the Steelers have not gotten out of their own way. Notice the Brooklyn Dodgers. One of unusual names in those days. Here's Ricky Irvins with a good gain outside on 1st down, is knocked out of bounds at the 27-yard line. A gain of 11 and another 1st down. Clock stops with 32 seconds remaining in the half. Thomas Everett, the free safety, made the tackle as they get closer to Lohmiller range.
The explosive speed of Ricky Irvins, and Joe Gibbs will be patient here, but don't be surprised to see him take a shot at the end zone here. Again, Redskin philosophy, take what they give us, but they'd love to get 7 more if they could just before this half.
Well, they're not thinking 3 right now. They've got the posse in there on 1st down on the Steeler 27-yard line. This is a dash, a design rollout going for Art Monk, double covered, and the pass is picked off but out of the end zone. Richard Shelton was defending on the play, and the Steelers had to worry about a pass interference call back there.
They forced that pass, and Shelton came very close. I think his feet were actually in, but he fumbled the football as he hit the ground. But this pass, not a good one. Double coverage. You'll pay a price for that as Carnell Lake is there. Let's watch the end of the play. Shelton catches this ball, gets 2 feet down, well, maybe, but you see he did not control the football as he hit the ground, so it didn't matter.
25 seconds remaining, 2nd down and 10. Here comes a blitz from the outside. Rippon is going deep again for Clark, and it is no play as it is bobbled. Clark was there, but it was bobbled out of the end zone again. Richard Shelton covering Clark. By the way, both Clark and Sanders did not really work out most of the week because of hamstring pulls, but they're both in there today.
Watch the end of the play. Again, 2 things to be concerned about. Feet in the end zone and control of the football. In this case, bouncing ball, no chance. But it's not unusual for Clark not to work full speed until Friday. Talking to Charlie Taylor, the receiver coach, he said Friday's a critical day for Clark. If he can go full speed on Friday, we know we're all right.
3rd down and 10. Redskins 7 of 9 in 3rd down conversions. Here comes Rippon. He's got Irvins. He's got speed and a fine tackle in the open field made by Jeff Brady, a rookie from the University of Kentucky, a gain of 7. That'll be 4th down coming up, and Chip Lohmiller will come in, but the Redskins will use up 1 of their 2 remaining timeouts here. This would be a 36-yard attempt, and Lohmiller has been successful from that distance already. We talked about this rivalry going back to the 30s. How would you like to read the numbers on those uniforms?
It looks like what you'd have taken if you had to make a trip to the local police station, isn't it? An interesting look from the Steelers. Not the Steelers in those days.
The Pirates.
The Pirates in those days. They look like pirates, don't they?
You're going to see a gentleman, Art Rooney, who's the founder of this club. There he is in the dark suit right there. Actually, when he bought the club, they were known as the Steagles. They merged Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. And later moved them exclusively to Pittsburgh. 36-yard field goal attempt. Not a good snap, and Lohmiller's kick is no good. Off to the right. That's the 2nd time that Lohmiller did not get a good snap, and the Redskins failed to add to their 17-0 lead.
You can sense the frustration from Joe Gibbs. Wayne Severe's special teams last week, 2 botched protections on the punt team. And this week, right here, the snap again coming from John Brandis. Slightly low. Rutledge has to bobble the timing, and the kick is no good.
Lohmiller is 1 for 3 this afternoon, and the Steelers, 5 seconds to go, will run it out. Steelers did everything to shoot themselves in the foot, and they trail. And let's see how they come out with Chuck Knowles talk at halftime. That is the end of the first half with the score. The undefeated Redskins 17 and the Steelers nothing. Returning Steelers, and we'll be back with more.
Right downfield and into Monk's hands.
Kickoff, Woodson returning for the Steelers and is tackled inside the 15 for the Steelers and is tackled inside the 15 right now. Let's send it down to the third member of our team, Leslie Visser. Leslie?
Dick, it was a happy locker room for the Redskins. Assistant coach Wayne Sevier said the offense could have scored on every possession, and but for one low snap and one mishandled ball, they would have been up 23-0. Remember that the Redskins have been beating teams by an average 19 points, so they're almost there, but Pittsburgh did ruin the 49ers' undefeated season in '84, so we'll see what happens, Dick.
That year was 15-1 for the 49ers, but this is bad news for the Steelers. Rod Woodson, who's one of the best kick returners in the league and an outstanding cornerback, limps off the field. So we'll have to watch Woodson's physical situation. First and 10 on the 14-yard line. Gets good yardage outside and carries beyond the 30. And the best play offensively for the Steelers in this game, an 18-yard run by Merrill Hodge with Brad Edwards and Andre Collins making the tackle.
Working in and attacking Jason Buck on the right side over here as you watch them load up on him, drive him inside. Just a good block by the guard coming, Hasselberg coming from the opposite side. Millen got shut off inside. That was a good play to get started here offensively for Pittsburgh.
Longest run from scrimmage for Hodge all year. Now Foster tries, and he goes nowhere and will lose 2 yards. Wilbur Marshall, who's having an outstanding year at linebacker, makes the stop, and that'll bring up second down and 12.
Second down, 12.
Marshall, who has to line up and butt heads with those linebacker or with the tight ends, will think he's lined up on another tackle today. The size of Eric Green at 6'6" and 280.
Second down and 12. Lewis Lips has not caught a pass. You see him at the top of your screen, and this pass was intended for Green, and Andre Collins drew the assignment of defending on that play. Ed Fiffick, the umpire, who was shaken up toward the end of the first half, will not be back. But he appeared all right as he left the field.
Dick Creed has moved in to take his place, and Fiffick lives in nearby Youngstown. He's a foot doctor. He probably does have one of those whirlpools in his house.
Sure he does.
He'd go home and soak a little bit. He took a real shot.
Before this game is over. Third down and 12. Steelers on their 30. O'Donnell getting pressure, and down he goes. No one stopped Tim Johnson. And that's the 4th sack of the game by the Redskins, who came in with 30 on the season and a loss of 13 yards.
A sweet homecoming for number 78, Tim Johnson. Breaking in the inside, he and Buck, the two who are there right on the heels of O'Donnell. And unlike the Redskins, who have protected their quarterback all day long very carefully, O'Donnell with not much time at all.
Dan Straczynski will kick from inside his 5, and Brian Mitchell poised for good field position on the return. Short kick. Mitchell will call for the fair catch. He's got the ball already in Steeler territory. So the beat goes on for the Redskins. A 36-yard kick, and Washington's impressive offense will start from the Steeler 44-yard line. Strained hamstring and may not get back in there. Joe Gibbs said, well, you look at the Steelers, he's the best, maybe the best player overall on that team. And Richard Shelton, who's in his second year out of Liberty, the same school that produced Eric Green, their tight end, now has the responsibility of filling in a cornerback.
Their situation compounded by the loss of Delton Hall, who went down with an injury last week and was placed on injured reserve. So they are getting thin in that secondary.
Best starting position for the Redskins right here, the Steeler 44. First down. Opening moments of the second half. Big story has been the starting position. Here is Ricky Irvins with great speed. Bursts his way down to the 30-yard line, a pickup of 14. Richard Shelton makes the tackle from cornerback, and another first down.
You can watch Shelton, number 24, as he will come all the way across to get a piece of the action. There you see him at the top of your screen, but look at the explosion by Ricky Irvin. It looks like everyone else is going half speed, and Ricky is going full speed.
That's the longest rushing play by the Redskins today. On the delay, Irvin's trying to go off the left side, and he picks up about 4 yards. Greg Lloyd making the tackle for the Steelers. The Redskins in a position with a victory today to wrap up at least a wild card berth in the NFL playoffs. That's their first goal. Then they want to win the division, home field advantage, and then greater glories after that. Second down and 7 on the 27. And they go to Irvin. Bounces off the Steeler. Makes something out of very little and gets to the 24. A gain of 3 yards. Nickerson and Lake make the play. Chuck Noll, one thing he has learned in his 23 years is patience. Huh?
Well, patience is not helping him today. His team just does not match up. Does not match up personnel-wise with the Washington Redskins, and their system is getting knocked apart too. On both sides, they're losing this ballgame.
Interestingly enough, when these teams scrimmaged and played in preseason, many of the Steelers thought that they were on a par with the Redskins. Rippon with the fake. He's going deep. The pass. Incomplete. Clark, I believe, was downfield, and it was Richard Shelton defending on the play. It was a free ball for the moment, but Everett couldn't pick it up for the interception. Got
Richard Shelton on the field. They lined up 3 receivers over there, one right after another. One of those spaghetti type situations. Rippon able to pull that ball down and throw a fairly good pass there, but Gary Clark simply could not hang on to it.
A 41-yard attempt now by Lohmiller, who's 1 for 3 this afternoon. Hasn't gotten good snaps. He got a good one there, and this kick is good. Chip Lohmiller with a 41-yarder. And the Redskins have extended their lead now to 20-0 over the Steelers.
You watch as Brandis gets the snap back perfectly. Rutledge does his part, and Lohmiller, hey, it's easy when it all works together.
With the highest resale value in its class and proven Honda
1-16. Mills is the new return man as the kick goes into the end zone for a touchback. So the rookie from Florida, Ernie Mills, replaces Rod Woodson in that department as the Steelers will start from the 20 and Woodson heads for the dressing room.
Woodson not only an all-pro cornerback, but selected as the outstanding return man in the AFC. His absence, very, very costly.
Strained hamstring. Cincinnati and Philadelphia are tied in the third quarter, as are Denver and Kansas City in that big AFC West battle. A lot of ties today thus far. First down on the 20. It's 20-0 in favor of the Redskins. Neil O'Donnell trying to get something going. Several times, and Eric Green needs a block. He got it and picks up about 7 yards on the play. Eric Williams making the tackle. I'd get out of his way, Merlin.
Listen, you find people that side. When I was playing, most of the defensive and offensive linemen weren't that big. It was an unusual lineman that was 280 pounds. A little bit of a shot to the stomach sent him to the sideline, but when he comes down the field, and one of those 175-pound DBs has to tackle him. There's got to be some interesting mental gymnastics going on.
Adrian Cooper replaces Green at tight end. 2nd down and 3 for the Steelers. Here's Merrill Hodge trying to get around Wilbur Marshall, and he won't make it. Out of bounds at the 23-yard line, and a loss of 4 yards. Good pursuit by Wilbur Marshall.
Wilbur Marshall, right-hand side of your screen. Watch him as he breaks to the outside. His job to string this play out, to make sure that Merrill Hodge cannot break upfield. And Hodge, without great speed anyway, is bumped out for a loss on the play.
He may have a good spiel back in the huddle after that.
Yeah, but not too good a speed. He does not do well going outside. He's better off running inside.
3rd down and 7 out of the shotgun. Here comes the pressure inside, and the pass is knocked down. Hodge, the intended receiver, and a good play there by Alvoid Mays. When you're behind 20-0, there is no secret that you've got to throw the ball, and that's really playing into the Redskins' hands.
Well, especially when you have a porous offensive line, and the Steelers are struggling. Their 2 guards, Hasselrig and Ricketts, really not able to handle the heat inside.
Very hard to be behind 20 points against anybody in this league. So Dan Straczynski will kick once again, and Brian Mitchell goes deep for the Redskins. Not a long kick, but a high kick. Fair catch called by Mitchell. And once again, the Redskins are knocking on midfield. They're a 37-yard punt and will return. 9:35 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
Important thing in this Super Bowl race.
1st down on the 40-yard line. Ricky Urbans with Don Warren in front of him blocking. Brings it out to the 43-yard line, and Gerald Williams making the tackle.
Well, if you want to eat up that clock, and that's exactly what's on Joe Gibbs' mind, why not lean on the strongest running game in the NFL? Number 1 coming in, ahead of the Giants and Buffalo and Kansas City. And the Redskins struggled a little bit early today because the Steelers were stacking 8 people up on the line. Of course, the Steelers paid for that, too, as they were bombed early in that first series.
Atlanta stacked 9 last week, and they were bombed to the tune of 56 points. 2nd down and 6 on the Redskins 44. Urban's going outside. He's got the speed to do it. And he'll have another 1st down as he gets into Pittsburgh territory, and a gain of 11 yards. David Johnson was the first to get to him, and another good block by the tight end, Don Warren.
Jerry Glanville last week said that he liked to have some of these offensive linemen for the Redskins playing defense for him. Number 66, Joe Jacoby. Aaron Jones, 97. Hands to the outside, and Jacoby said, "Why don't you come down here with me? We'll play a little rollover."
Jim Hannafin, one of the most pleasant coaches to be around, former head coach, and has done a great job with an injury-riddled offensive line.
He'll tell you it ain't holding unless you get caught.
True. 1st down, Urbans gets hit by Hardy Nickerson and barely gets to the 45-yard line, so we'll call it no gain.
Trying to move people around inside. Gerald Williams, number 98. And as is the fashion here in Pittsburgh, shifting that nose tackle to an offline position. It's made famous by Joe Green. Saw him earlier in the ball game. Me and Joe developed that slanted nose tackle position.
2nd down and 10. Posse lines up with 2 wide receivers to the top, but Rippon is going on the fade to Gary Clark. And let's see, did he make a one-handed catch? He did. What a play by Gary Clark, one-handed with David Johnson defending. 37 yards to the affable Gary Clark.
Unique players and a unique style. Clark, one of those players who'll drop a pass right in his hands and then come back with this kind of play. You won't see a more athletic or more unusual reception than that anywhere in the NFL today.
And remember, he's playing with an injured hamstring, as is Ricky Sanders.
And look at the man delivering that throw, taking every possible second he could. Donald Evans there to take his rib.
First and goal on the 8-yard line. Urbans cutting inside, fights his way close to the 1-yard line. Ricky Urbans has about 70 yards on the day. Gerald Williams, and then help from Greg Lloyd. And on a day when Biner miraculously came back to start with that sprained knee, Urbans getting a chance to show what he could do. He has gained 70 yards.
Well, they pound you with the long pass. They come right back and hit you up the gut with Ricky Urbans. It's been a frustrating day for this Pittsburgh defense.
Second and goal on the 1. Gerald Riggs, who opened the scoring with a 1-yard run after Monk's big catch, lined up in the backfield. And it's going to be Riggs, and Riggs will score his second touchdown of the game, and number 9 on the season. And credit Terry Orr with the block to get him free. What depth the Redskins have. We've talked about their offensive and defensive line. Running back, having a Gerald Riggs come in on short yardage, and now Chip Lowmiller looking to add the 27th point of the game for the Redskins. And he does with 6:11 remaining in the third quarter. So it's been all Washington. So after the big rout over the Falcons, 56-17, it's 27-0 now, Redskins. Gerald Riggs, 2 touchdowns from a yard out and 2 field goals by Chip Lowmiller. And now Lowmiller will kick off, and Ernie Mills is back deep for the Steelers. It'll be Mills at the goal line. Got slowed up, and then he stopped, but a fine return by the Florida rookie to the 31-yard line. And the tackle is made by Martin Mayhew.
One of the real strengths of this Washington Redskin team, the fact that they have so many players able to step in when they have an injury. Look at the starters in reserve. Players who have been starters able to step in. 13 for the Redskins, only 3 on the other side of the line of scrimmage.
And they've done it without Charles Mann, the sack leader of this team, the best pass rusher on that defensive line, out with an injured knee, getting a breather today, and it was a good decision to do. Merrill Hodge fumbles, and the Redskins may get it back. And now they say the whistle had blown, so it is still Pittsburgh ball. Had a couple of quick whistles this afternoon.
Yes, we have.
Andre Collins had recovered it, but he made the hit here, but it's still Pittsburgh ball.
Watch the end of this play as Merrill Hodge dives over the top. Does he hit the ground? Yes, absolutely.
And we know what.
The ground cannot
Okay.
cut. Yes, you go ahead and say it. No.
No.
Talked to Charles Mann about that knee, by the way. It was reported in the papers that that was his left knee, his good knee. That's not true. It's that right knee that he's had 5 operations on that is the one that's bothering him right now.
2nd and 5. O'Donnell's pass is caught by Callaway, and right on him was Mayhew. Let's see where his forward progress is. It is enough to give the Steelers a first down.
The Steelers trying to work the ball down the field, but the Redskins simply are staying in their zones and saying, if you're going to work the ball down the field, you're going to do it one play at a time. And the Steelers simply haven't been able to do that. They've found a way to mess up the drives, either with a penalty, with a mistake, with a turnover. They've had a very, very difficult and frustrating day offensively.
First down on the 42 of Pittsburgh. Their furthest advance has been to the Redskin 46. O'Donnell has time, but the receivers are covered except for Green. He's tough to cover. He makes the grab, and that'll be a first down into Washington territory. Wilbur Marshall got in the way, and a gain of 12 yards for the Steelers.
Well, here are those zones. You'll have a chance to watch them deep as they just sit back there and wait a chance to watch them wait and wait and wait. Look at them, one deep in center field, everyone else just kind of hanging. But here's a chance too for O'Donnell, who finally gets a little time. He said, hey, I look for the big house, the greenhouse.
That's an apt name. First down on the 46. This is the farthest penetration by the Steelers all day. And Merrill Hodge improves on that as he picks up 3 yards. Just under 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. 27-0. The Redskins with a touchdown in the first quarter and 10 points in each of the second and third periods.
Eric Williams, number 75, out with a painful neck injury. Missed the ball game last week. Said he really had difficulty getting himself back and ready to play. They were teasing him about a neck roll that he put on, but it's so far in the back that he called it a back roll. He can't help his neck.
Here's a pump and a pass intended for Green, incomplete. Obviously, the Redskins have been double covering Green today because he's a bigger threat than their wideouts. Brad Edwards that time was the closest defender. Steelers, of course, a younger club, and what's interesting about this team is that with Mike Mularkey inactive today, he was a Plan B pickup. Every man on the Steelers roster was taken in the draft. None by trades and none on Plan B. Kind of unusual.
I really think the Steelers are behind the time on that side of it. I don't think you can just build through the draft today. I think you've got to be willing to go out and use some Plan B acquisitions. I think you've got to be willing to trade if you can get some good bodies.
Third down and 7. O'Donnell. Not that mobile, but he has no choice, and he slides for the first down. First down for the Steelers and a gain of 10 yards for Neil O'Donnell.
Well, when you put your tight end in the backfield and say block, watch what happens. That's Jason Buck getting knocked down by big Eric Green, giving the O'Donnell time to break off and get upfield, but O'Donnell really wanted to have a chance to throw that football, and he didn't get it.
They moved the ball back to the 36-yard line, and
when you slide, it's from the position that you start the slide that they mark the ball. It's not where you end up. It's where you start the slide.
And that may cost the Steelers right now a first down. Let's see if it does. No, they've got it. First down for Pittsburgh. There's Joe Gibbs. He's hanging in there. He's not quieting down. And what makes great coaches great, Bill Parcells was this way, and so is Joe Gibbs, the ability to hit the right note each week, no matter who the opponent is for his club.
He asked his players, what do you think? You scrimmaged this team twice early in the year. You played them early. You think they can beat us? And they have respect for this team. They had to come back and say, yeah, we better think about that.
First down on the 36. They dump it off to Hodge, and he's dumped himself. And a loss on the play. Well, right now it looks like that's a silly question to ask, but off of preseason, many of the Redskins felt that the Steelers played NFC-style football.
Very physical football. We mentioned letdown at the beginning of this game. Easy to let down, but you don't see a letdown anywhere. Great play on this play by Brad Edwards, coming all the way through the traffic to make a great takedown on Merrill Hodge.
Loss of 6 yards. Second down and 16 from the Steelers from the Redskin 42-yard line. O'Donnell wants to go deep, and he wants White Stone, and Stone can't hold on to it. He had beaten his defender, Mayhew, but he couldn't make the catch.
Darrell Green told me just before the game, he said, I know they're making a lot of noise about these rookies, Ernie Mills in particular, but he said, I don't know why they don't give the ball to Stone more. He has really developed as a receiver. The knock on Stone, never speed, always hands. He's worked very, very hard to develop those hands. Didn't catch the ball much in college or here as a running back. And again, those hands desert him. But boy, that is a tough catch over the top that way.
That'll bring up third down and 16. Neil O'Donnell.
Offsides. Ilkin.
False start and a 5-yard penalty. Steelers, by the way, will be headed for their third straight home loss. It's been 3 years since they've dropped 3 games in a row here at Three River Stadium, where once upon a time they dominated everybody.
And it was the Steelers who set the standards through the 70s, who had everybody saying, boy, would we like to be able to play football like Chuck Noll's team.
Now it's 3rd and 21. Redskins will be coming at O'Donnell here. O'Donnell's pass to Lewis Lips, and I believe that's his first catch of the game. Darrell Green on the stop, and it is good for 26 yards and number 2 in the all-time receiver race in Pittsburgh Steeler history.
You heard that noise. That wasn't a boo. They're saying Lou. That's Lou, who's one of their heroes here, and rightfully so. Gets the little square in, and a ball that had to be perfectly thrown because the coverage was right there.
And the amazing thing is that now he is only 200 catches away from John Stallworth at the head of the list. Only 200.
Not going to get those in this season for sure.
First down on the 21-yard line. Pressure inside, and the pass complete to Stone. Mayhew will ride that pony out of bounds. It'll be a first down for the Steelers. Gain of 12. Right now, the Redskin defense is serious with the big lead. They want another shutout. They already have 3 shutouts this season. And all of them have been at RFK Stadium.
Pettibone signaling in his defense. This Redskin defense uses more personnel than any other defensive team in the league.
First and goal on the 9. Here's Leroy Thompson. Good cutback ability as he fights his way down to the 5-yard line. Thompson, the rookie from Penn State. Several rookies on the Steeler club. Brad Edwards and Clarence Bourne and nickelback in on the play.
They have tried to pick on the left side of their offense, the right side defensively, trying to take advantage of Jason Buck, but not been able to do it.
And that'll do it for the 3rd quarter. That is the end of the 3rd quarter. With the score, the Redskins 27 and the Steelers nothing. And our coverage will continue after this message from your local station. You are watching the NFL on CBS. Running backs, and it's a play fake and pressure on O'Donnell. He gets by one man, and the pass caught for a touchdown and a penalty marker down. Adrian Cooper, the tight end, grabbed it, but there's a flag.
I think we may have an interference or an illegal bump on the defense, but it will not stop this touchdown, and O'Donnell's strength saved him on that play.
Holding, number 55 defense.
Andre Collins was holding, and the Steelers finally score on the first play of the 4th quarter. A 5-yard touchdown pass to Adrian Cooper.
From the right side, it's Stokes all over his man here, and for the 2nd time today, O'Donnell gets away from him, but this time he finds an open man in the end zone.
Gary Anderson. Boy, talk about a guy that hasn't had much to do today. Anderson kicked off to start the game. He has not had a field goal attempt and finally gets in to kick an extra point.
The strength of O'Donnell. Watch him here as he pulls away from Stokes and stands tough. Fine shot.
On 315 total yards, Gerald Riggs with a couple of scores. Rippon 17 of 24. And a big time of possession edge of a little over 10 minutes. Gary Anderson kicking off. Stephen Hobbs and Brian Mitchell go back deep. This is going to Hobbs at the goal line. Penalty marker down. We may have an illegal block or 2 or 3 flags now. And finally, Olszewski makes the tackle on Hobbs after presumably a good run back to the 35. But let's wait.
It looked like Andre Collins may have been ticketed on that play for a holding call. Too big a hole. Sometimes when you see a hole develop that way, you know exactly what it is. But that was still a well-designed and well-executed return. That's part of the balance we talked about earlier. Special teams balance. Even though the Redskins have had a couple of problems in the last couple of weeks with their special team.
During the return, half the distance to the goal, first down.
Copeland.
I'll tell you what, he better get a glass of water. I know what that's like. First down on the 8-yard line. That's the worst starting field position. Joe Walton over with his quarterback for the next time Pittsburgh gets it. Here's Ricky Urbans on first down, but Lloyd's going to get him from behind.
An incredible amount of intensity. You'll see him coming from this far side, number 95, Greg Lloyd. Watch how quickly he closes the distance on a very quick running back, Ricky Urbans, and shuts him down. And this crowd is back in the ballgame.
Second down and 10. The ball's still at the 8-yard line. Urbans will lose yardage, and coming in that time was Keith Willis. Loss of 5 yards, and that'll bring up third and long.
For the first time today, it's the Steeler defense exerting the pressure. A big play a moment ago by Lloyd, and now from the other side, it's Keith Willis right there to knock down Urbans.
And the man he beat was Ed Simmons, who's now at right tackle, who was brought off injured reserve. It'll be third and 15 on the 3-yard line. Rippon in his end zone, and he fires it out, caught by Art Monk, and the Redskins get out of trouble as Art Monk, who caught 7 passes in the first half, grabs this 22-yarder, Sean Vincent defending, and that'll quiet the throng quickly.
Good teams, veteran teams, do not panic. You make a couple of big plays on them, what do? They come right back and nail you. A little bit of a roll here, a little bit of movement by Rippon to give him a little extra time, but Monk just froze the secondary with that move of his.
Monk with 8 catches for 131 yards and a touchdown. He had 164 yards, his season's best a week ago. First down on the 25, and a good fake by Rippon. Has to go the other way, and it's completed. Pass to Don Warren, his first reception of the game. And that's close to another Redskin first down.
Talk about a quarterback using his eyes. Rippon looking left all the way until the last possible second, and then flicking that ball out to Donnie Warren.
Warren, who was injured for half of the season, making his first reception of the campaign.
Talked to him briefly, and he said, I don't know whether it's my age or just the injuries, but he said, my body is sore. But he is sure an important part of this Redskin offense, and has been for years.
Here's Ricky Urbans on first down, breaks a tackle, and finally slowed down by Olsofsky. A gain of 6 yards. Don Warren did not start the season, and when people talked about problem areas for the Redskins, you mentioned defense question marks earlier. Don Warren's absence was one of the big ones.
There's Donnie Warren. He comes from all different positions. In fact, his job the most complex on this offense, aside from the quarterback. You saw that excellent block he threw for Ricky Urbans. But I asked him, do you have pre-designed place where you have to line up on every play? He said, sometimes I can line up almost anywhere I want to, but usually that is dictated as well as the finishing place.
Second down and 3. Urbans trying to get the yardage, appears to be shy. Carnell Lake making the stop, and that will bring up fourth down and 1.
Jumbo, you heard the call. The big men going in on third and less than a yard.
They get third down, so it is third down, and you're right. The Jumbo is the big tight ends come in. Terry Orr, along with Warren and Middleton.
Well, and Addix goes in, I believe, as an extra tight end here.
That's right. Addix is in a tight end position now on third down and 1. He's on the left. Gerald Riggs. Riggs is stopped and might have lost a yard. And now it'll be fourth down. And now Kelly Goodburn will come in to punt for what I believe is the first time today. First punt coming up for Goodburn. Going back deep is Jeff Graham. He's a rookie. Goodburn had 2 punts blocked last week by the Falcons.
They're coming.
Low end-over-end kick. And the Steelers will let it roll as it takes a Redskin bounce and drops at about the 13-yard line. 41-yard kick by Goodburn. His first attempt of the afternoon. 9:46 remaining in the fourth quarter. Steelers have the ball, first down on the 14-yard line. 27-7 the score in favor of the Redskins, looking for their 11th straight victory of the season. And Hodge is going to be stopped in the backfield. Got a smooth handoff, and Jason Buck, who was once a #1 draft pick by the Bengals, produces a 4-yard loss.
Thought maybe he was going to be out of football for good until he got the call from the Redskins, and has to feel very good about making that kind of play in the backfield.
Redskins are looking to become the first team to start the season 11-0 since the Chicago Bears of 1985. They would also clinch a playoff berth if they go on and hold their lead. Second down and 14. O'Donnell looking to throw, and his pass is caught by Lips and given a shot by Darrell Green out of bounds, and that will bring up 3rd and long, a pickup that time of 6 yards. Now, when you look at the teams who have started the year 11-0, look at the 1969 LA Rams. Well, my partner, Merlin Olsen, was part of that club. Then what happened?
I have to tell you the discouraging part of that, Dick. We lost the next 3 games and lost our first playoff game. We didn't win again in 1969. We lost our concentration. We had that dreaded letdown, and we never got it back. And I think that's one of the things that Joe Gibbs has done so well with this team, is to help them keep their edge. There was no letdown here today.
3rd down and 7 out of the shotgun. O'Donnell gets away from pressure, and his pass is caught by Callaway, gets by a defender, and gets out of bounds at the 38-yard line. So the Redskins missed a tackle there. Brad Edwards made the play, but it was Alvoid Mays who let Callaway get away, and a gain of 21 yards for the Steelers.
And after shutting down the Steeler offense for 3 quarters, suddenly a drive by the Steelers to score, and they've started one again. You want to step right back in if you're the Washington defense and slam the door. Let's see if Pittsburgh can keep it open.
Callaway has caught 3 passes today for 40 yards. First down for the Steelers on their 38. O'Donnell has a lot of time, and his receiver is Lips. And once again, the Redskins not making that initial tackle, and another 22-yard gain. Mayhew and Matt Millen on the stop as the Steelers get into Redskin territory. But right now, let's check into New York and Greg Gumbel.
All right, Dick. On the NFL today, Jim Harbaugh said he and the Bears are focused on the big show at the end of the season. 84 yards to Anthony Morgan. The Bears score on their first 2 possessions to snap a 10-10 halftime tie. 24-10 Bears now in the fourth quarter, Dick.
And this is a tough scene for the Redskins because Darrell Green, their all-pro cornerback, is hurting, and we're not going to speculate. Here's the end of that play, Merlin.
A collision between Redskin defenders. Watch right here. It's Wilbur Marshall coming across that absolutely clocked Darrell Green and knocked him down. Watch the play right here. Wilbur coming in, and a shot to the head. Green's left knee spins out, his right knee folds underneath him, and they're being very careful with him. I don't know whether it's his knees or his head that took the worst of it. He is up and walking. That is good news as he heads for the sideline. As I mentioned earlier, the main concern right now for Joe Gibbs is keeping this team healthy, helping them to keep their edge as they continue through the latter part of the season, staying away from that dreaded letdown.
How do you keep a team healthy?
Well, for one thing, you make sure that if they're not healthy, they're not out there on the field. If the guy's not ready to play, you don't let him go out there.
O'Donnell on first down, going deep for Stone, and he grabs it. It's a touchdown for Pittsburgh. 40 yards. And a trademark of Chuck Noll coach teams is that they never stop playing hard.
White Stone said it hurt him to have them calling him hands of stone, but he matches up with Martin Mayhew, streaks down the sideline, and that was a perfectly thrown deep pass from O'Donnell.
Gary Anderson's extra point. And now it is 27-14 in favor of the Redskins, as you'll see this beautiful execution. O'Donnell to Stone. Third touchdown catch for Stone. Steelers trail now by 2 touchdowns. Hold on for the Redskins. It was not an onside kick, but a pooch kick, and a different version of the kind of kick we're familiar with. Next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern on CBS Sports, Greg Norman hosts the Shark Shootout.
He's given the Redskins excellent field possession, and they'll try and pound it out from here.
Ricky Irvins on first down, getting a block from Don Warren. Picks up about 3 yards. Aaron Jones making the tackle.
Tate Brazil's defense, after struggling and really not being able to shut down the Redskins all afternoon, suddenly have started to play inspired football here in the fourth quarter. And even a smile from Chuck Noll on the sideline. Well, he looked at a 0 up there for the Steelers for so long. I guess seeing 14 up there is making him feel much better about things.
Second down and 8. The Steelers have outscored their opponents in each of the last 2 quarters this year. They're a second half team. Trying to become a fourth quarter team, and the handoff to Irvins. Doesn't get much, maybe a yard, and it'll be third down and long. And the Steelers want a timeout. They'll use the first of their timeouts right here.
I don't know that I have ever seen a timeout called for this purpose this early in a game before. Have you ever seen one called to stop the clock with 6:18?
Well, I think more than anything else, I think that the Steelers use the timeout because they really must stop the Redskins right here. This is almost like an end of game situation for them.
Not only that, but they need 2 touchdowns here, and that's obvious. Dave Brazil has an interesting system. He sends in the calls with a number system. See the wristband? It's got the plays, the defensive plays on the wristband. And you'll have a couple of inside linebackers wearing those. That's Harvey Nickerson. He calls the regular defenses. He's got a couple of defensive backs to call them as well.
We've got a big play coming up here. Third down and 7. Redskins are 8 for 13 on those third down conversions. Rippon on third down has Irvins out of the backfield, and he's got the first down. Shelton drives him out of bounds, and the story of this game, the Redskins have made the most of their third down opportunities to keep the drives going.
Tremendous pass protection. Watch the kind of cup that develops here, the way they're able to shut down the penetration. Coming inside, they just stack them up like cordwood. Look at that. What tremendous protection. Allows time for Rippon to find Ricky Irvin open, and as they've done all day, to convert the third down.
Sounds like Little House on the Prairie. Stack them up like cordwood. I might have heard that before along the way. First down on the 47. Irvin's head down. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. Donald Evans that time. So here's a situation, Merlin, where the Steelers call a timeout to set up a big third down defense, and the Redskins had an answer.
Well, there's no question about it. They knew that they had to have 2 touchdowns to get themselves on top in this ball game. Really not time to even hope for a touchdown and 2 field goals. So what they wanted to do was force the play right there, and then perhaps have a chance to block a punt.
You remember those Little House on the Prairie days,
don't you? I remember those days very well. Yes, I was a nice guy on that.
Long time ago.
Yep.
Second down and 9. Winding down to 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. On the delay, here's Irvins with Lachey blocking, and Irvins gets into Steeler territory, but that'll bring up third and a healthy 7. Brian Hinkle making the tackle.
significant to see the amount of playing time for Ricky Irvins today. Ernest Biner with the knee injury, but two things: allowing Biner some rest today and Irvins to get valuable experience down the stretch.
Steelers use another timeout. And once again, they are going to set up their third down defense. So one timeout left for Pittsburgh, all three left for the Redskins. As we bring you up to date, Indianapolis coming back. It's now 24-17 as we fill you in on the scores. The attendance today is 56,813 on a day that the Steelers thought that they could very well, they used the turnstile count, set an all-time record. Not the case, but they sold out anyway. Coming up next, the second half of our doubleheader, the Cowboys and the Giants at Giants Stadium. Third down and 6 coming up. Irvins, by the way, has gained 81 yards today. But this is a passing down.
Classic Redskin shift of power. Now comes the motion with Monk.
Rippon is going deep, and wide open is Gary Clark. He'll score. To Clark, and it just seems, Merlin, that the Redskins can beat you any way they want to go.
Steelers gambling that would be a possession style play, that they'd be going short for the first down. Tried to come with the heat, and Gary Clark broke loose. Rippon said it earlier, our first look is deep on every pass play. The progression begins with the deep receiver.
Lohmiller adds the 34th point. So it's 34-14. Highest scoring team in the league adds to it today.
Mark Rippon, one of the best deep throwers in the NFL. He proves it again here.
So for Gary Clark, that is his 8th touchdown reception. Art Monk caught his 8th earlier in the game. And Gerald Riggs, with 2 scores today, now has 9 touchdowns on the year. It's a lot of touchdowns.
The safeties believing this to be a short pattern. Now watch the safeties. Clark is going to go right by them as he has a chance to streak downfield. Watch the play here. They expect the short play. You see right there, they let him go. And Carnell Lake, coming from the top, doesn't even get close. Absolutely perfectly called and perfectly executed.
34-14 the score. Want to remind you this game is presented by authority of the National Football League, and the CBS telecast is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of CBS, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Washington Redskins, and the National Football League is prohibited. Ernie Mills on the return. Tries to leap over a defender and gets to the 23-yard line. Making the tackle was Hobbs. Joe Gibbs, effusive in his praise of Mark Rippon, and he says he may be the smartest quarterback that I've ever seen, and that struck home.
Well, he's added to that total of big bombs on the season. The Redskins able to put 2 more on that list today. 13 plays over 40 yards. Boy, I'll tell you, that is really something. And Rippon just continues to get better.
First down on the 24. O'Donnell goes up the middle, and the pass is incomplete. Green was the intended receiver, and Brad Edwards was covering.
Incomplete. Second down, 10.
Redskins are 4 minutes and 26 seconds away from wrapping up a playoff berth and extending their undefeated record to 11-0. Their last loss was against the Colts, of all people, in the 15th game. That's a regular season loss. 15th game last season. Darrell Green is all right. That may be the best news for the Washington fans who know this game is salted away. We'll have a penalty.
appeared that maybe one of the offensive linemen got a little eager on that situation.
The Darrell Green injury was he just got his bell rung.
77 offense, 5 yards.
So a lot of Redskin people had to be holding their breaths when he went down.
You don't want to lose a Darrell Green. He is so important to that defense because if you have to lock somebody up man to man, if you have to take the great receiver away from the other team, you put Darrell Green on him. You say, Darrell, go get him. Keep him locked up on the day. You need a Darrell Green for that role.
2nd down and 15. O'Donnell will go down, and that will be the 5th sack of the game. Let's see if Jason Buck gets into the column, and he does. A loss of 7 yards. Last week, the Redskins sacked Tolliver 6 times.
Well, this one was a coverage sack. In fact, Jason Buck had his back to the quarterback, and the quarterback tried to run by him, and Jason reached out and lassoed him and took him down. But that's all right. They all count as sacks, and he was in the right place to make it.
Pittsburgh with a little flurry here in the 4th quarter, but the 49-yard pass, touchdown throw to Gary Clark ended any Steeler hopes. Inside his 5, O'Donnell's pass nearly picked off. Covering downfield was A.J. Johnson, intended for Mills. So it'll be 4th down, and Pittsburgh will have to boot it.
And that critical 3rd down play, the defense looking for the short pass and didn't get it. And now the offense, the wind kind of gone out of this Pittsburgh offense. They marched it down a couple of times, but they certainly could not do it this time. Stiffening Redskin defense and not much at all for the offense.
Brzezinski will kick it away. Brian Mitchell, the return man. And a good chance for a return by Mitchell. And he is stopped in Steeler territory after a 39-yard kick. Well, tonight on CBS, all begins with 60 Minutes. Try this on your doctor. If the French can eat the richest guess. First down on the Steeler 40-yard line. And a new quarterback is in there for the Steelers is Jeff Rutledge, and will have a penalty. Jeff Rutledge is the new quarterback for the Redskins. And Rippon is through for the day after another outstanding afternoon.
Change in cadence.
69 offense, 5 yards.
You put a new quarterback on the field, and it's amazing how many things change.
Rippon's great play has not changed. 21 of 28 and 2 touchdown passes. Nary an interception. And what did he say last night? He says, I wanted to improve on my completion percentage. Well, he has done that. He's into the 60s. 75 today, but 60 overall.
Important to give Jeff Rutledge an opportunity to get a little experience here. Thinking about the unthinkable. The injury possibly to a Mark Rippon.
On 1st and 15, Ricky Irvins carrying the ball. So in the last 2 weeks, Mark Rippon has thrown for over 800 yards and 8 touchdown passes. That could be a season for a lot of quarterbacks.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Fourth quarter, Denver 24, Kansas City 20.
Gerald Riggs is checked in the backfield. 2nd down and 12 coming up. Of their last 5 games, the Redskins will have 4 against divisional opponents, including the Giants and Philly to end the season. Here is Riggs, who has scored 2 touchdowns today as he gets to the 40-yard line. The offensive line, the legacy of the Hogs. Tell us more about it.
I can tell you one thing, that over the years, they have established not only control of the line of scrimmage, but their leadership, their ability to play hurt, their ability to set the tempo in practice has been just as important as their performance on the field.
2 minutes!
And they still provide this team. That's Russ Grimm, one of the original Hogs. Joe Jacoby in the background, one of the original Hogs. They have helped this team to establish that sense of, hey, hurt or banged up, we don't care. We go and get it done.
That's the tradition of that offensive line, and they have shown what they could do with a lot of depth. Steelers have called their last timeout with 2:12 on the clock, and of course that offensive line has protected Mark Rippon, who has been sacked only 4 times all year, and none now in the last 6 games.
And that is hard to believe, particularly looking back at last week's game against Atlanta, when they had everyone coming after them.
Well, this is their future road, and as we said, Dallas at home, the Giants at home, and Philadelphia on the road, and traveling games west to the Rams and Phoenix, and that's what the Redskins face as obstacles to a perfect 16-0 regular season. The only undefeated team for a whole year, the Miami Dolphins. Of course, they were 14-0 and then won all 3 playoff games, including the Super Bowl, to finish 17-0 and beating Washington in the process. Third down and 10, and Rutledge will call timeout.
Gotta wonder about that one. Too many people moving, running out of time on the clock. Just a note, Dick, looking at that schedule and realizing that there's a lot of football left for this team. Can they make it undefeated? I remember so well saying, as the Miami Dolphins started into that season and got their streak going, hey, it's not going to last. They cannot do it. I remember watching the Bears as they finally dropped one in the process. I think it's really almost impossible to hold a team together through that entire schedule. And I don't think there's a better team playing in the NFL right now than the Redskins, but I don't believe they're going to finish this season undefeated.
Joe Gibbs admits, he says, you know, we're not a dominant team. We certainly don't have great team speed, maybe adequate team speed. And it'll be interesting to see how this team, who after blowing out Atlanta came in and handled Pittsburgh easily, does. That'll make their opponent's season the rest of the way to knock off this club. Redskins called their first timeout. Third down and 10 for Jeff Rutledge in relief of Mark Rippon. And his pass is to Ricky Sanders, and another touchdown for the Washington Redskins. They can't even get to the 2-minute warning. They scored again. 40 yards this time, and only the second touchdown catch for number 83.
And there are going to be Pittsburgh fans who are saying this is pouring it on. But when you put a backup quarterback on the field, you can't tell him you can't score touchdowns. He goes out, he runs the play. The first read is downfield. If the receiver is open, he's going to deliver the football.
First touchdown throw of the year by Rutledge, and Lohmiller will try to make it a 41-14 rout. And the Redskins now have scored 97 points in the last 2 weeks. They won't have to worry about any tiebreakers with scoring, that's for sure, the way they're going.
Now, we mentioned pass protection just a moment ago. Look at the protection in action. And Rutledge able to take all day. That's not pouring it on. That's poor defense by the Pittsburgh Steelers.
41-14 the score with 2:05 remaining in the game. Added up. 41 points, no turnovers, no sacks allowed, and the big numbers on the passing yards and total yards.
Dick, those 2 zeros, very, very important. The Washington Redskins, above everything else, don't beat themselves. If you're going to beat them, you take the game away from them. They don't beat themselves.
Merlin, could you imagine how it would have been if Sanders and Clark did not have hamstring problems? I mean, Clark catches a 49-yard score, and here is the 40-yard score. Big plays today.
I think the thing that absolutely amazes me is how, against a team that obviously is primed to take away exactly that kind of play, and who said, hey, we're going to play them deep, we're not going to let them get the big shot, they come right back and get it anyway.
Yeah, that was the Monk 63-yarder on the third play of the game, and this was Clark. We've had the kickoff, and Mills returning for the Steelers, and he brings it out nicely beyond the 30-yard and 35-yard line.
This last big shot of the day from Rutledge, well, two people that felt great about that one, Jeff Rutledge and Ricky Sanders.
So our 2-minute warning has arrived. Smiles on one side and frowns on the other.
Following today's game, we suggested that
Redskins rolling it up here with 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Rod Woodson was knocked out of the game in the third quarter with a strained hamstring. Redskins bringing their fans along. They'll be 11-0, the first team since the Bears to win their first 11 games of the season. It's been 6 years since that last happened. O'Donnell on first down completes to Stone to midfield, and a first down, a pickup of 15.
The Redskins content to trade yardage for time on the clock at this point. This game really decided, and very decisively so. Just a matter of playing it out.
O'Donnell's pass is caught by Green. Steelers don't have any more timeouts remaining. Collins and Marshall made the tackle.
A chance for O'Donnell, as we said, a very young quarterback, to learn something about the 2-minute drill here, and maybe that's the only plus about a drive like this.
Pittsburgh will lose their 3rd straight game at Three River Stadium and will go 4-7 on the season. Offense called for 5 yards, a legal procedure, as you look at the big plays engineered by the Redskins.
Well, I'll tell you, I can remember seasons when teams couldn't pop that many passes over 30 yards, let alone games.
O'Donnell's pass is caught by Lips and wrestled down immediately by Sidney Johnson. Well, the Steelers are a young team, and they've got a young quarterback. A little bit over their heads today against the mighty Redskins. And this pass is caught by Chris Callaway, and it stops the clock. I want to remind you, for most of the second half of our doubleheader coming up, the Cowboys and the Giants, and a chance now to thank a few people. Today's game was produced by Michael Burks and directed by Andy J. Kindle. The NFL Today was produced by Eric Mann and directed by Duke Struck. The senior producer of the NFL on CBS is Ed Gorin, and the executive producer is Ted Shaker. It's good to have our man from Washington, Marty Aronoff, with us in the booth, as he is all the time. O'Donnell gets it to Green, and a good tackle by Mayhew on that play.
Mayhew giving up about 90 pounds, and Green, who is operating with a sore knee, heads to the sideline. Good news for the Redskins on a couple of fronts, Dick. The fact that they have not had anyone seriously injured in this game, able to rest Charles Mann, Ernest Biner with only a little bit of work today. He'll be rested for next week. And of course, the Redskins win against a team that they were expected to defeat, and they continue that streak.
Fighting to the finish, and O'Donnell stops the clock with 6 seconds to go. He wants another score, and that's the kind of toughness that the Steelers admire in this man. Well, to our knowledge, the Redskins escaped any serious injury today. Darrell Green was a close call for a while, but he just got his bell rung, did not return to the game. And now the Redskins and Joe Gibbs can start talking about their next opponent, the Dallas Cowboys, and I don't think that Joe Gibbs is going to have to dig down too deep to get his team ready for that game. O'Donnell looking for the touchdown, and it is incomplete, and time runs out. Callaway, the intended receiver, and the Washington Redskins have clinched a playoff berth and are the first team in 6 years to begin the season 11-0.